So for this first problem, whenever you're doing just basic trigonometry, either with the regular trig functions or the reciprocal trig functions, you want to write out your SOHCAHTOA. That way we have all of the definitions for all six of these written in this nice phrase. And you have to do a little bit of work to get the reciprocal function definitions out of these, but as you'll see, it's not too bad. So in this one, we're trying to find the secant of the angle A, and for now I'm just going to rewrite it as the angle theta. We'll keep it general. And the secant of some angle, we need to figure out which of the three functions it's related to. And remember that you would think cosine would go with cosecant, since they both have co in it. But remember, it's the opposite of what you'd think. So cosine doesn't go with cosecant, cosine goes with secant. So the secant is just 1 divided by the cosine of that angle. And so it's the reverse of this ratio. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And so we can put that in if we want. It's 1 divided by the adjacent divided by that hypotenuse. And when you're dividing by a fraction, it's the same as multiplying by that fraction flipped over. So we'll just flip this over. We get hypotenuse over adjacent, and we're multiplying by 1, so that won't change it. And so the secant of any angle is the relationship, or this ratio, between the hypotenuse, the long side, divided by the adjacent side, which is the side next to the angle we're concerned with. And for this problem, we're concerned with this angle A here. So the secant of that angle A is going to be the relationship, or the ratio, between the hypotenuse and the side adjacent to A. The hypotenuse is always the long side, the one opposite the right angle. So in this case, it's 13. And the adjacent side, the one next to the angle, has a length of 5. Notice that 12 is the opposite side of this angle A. So what is the secant of this angle A? Well, it is 13 divided by 5. And we need to reduce our fractional answer to lowest terms, but 5 and 13 are prime numbers, so there's nothing that we'd be able to cancel out here. So let's keep going. We'll do some more problems. And you'll see they're all fairly similar. For each of these problems, we'll write our SOHCAHTOA at the top. This is just good habit when dealing with trig functions. And now we want the cotangent. So the cotangent of any angle, well, cotangent and tangent are related, as you would expect. So this is 1 divided by the tangent of the angle. And tangent is opposite over adjacent, so cotangent would be that flipped over. It would be the adjacent divided by the opposite. And again, we want the cotangent of our angle B here. So let's find that angle B, that's right here. And so to find the cotangent of that angle, we're looking at the side adjacent to it. That's this side 7 here. And we're going to divide it by the long side, the hypotenuse. So 25 is our longest side. It is opposite the right angle here, so that means that's the hypotenuse. So to answer this question in reduced fractional form, 7/25 would be our final answer, since 7 is prime and 25 is only divisible by 5. So you'd put this 7 over 25 into the box here. Let's keep working. For this one, we want to look at the cosecant. So again, we'll rewrite our SOHCAHTOA. And for cosecant, we want to remind ourselves which trig function that's related to. So again, you would think that, let me use a general angle here, theta. So you would think that cosecant is related to cosine, but then you remember that the opposite is true. It's not what you would expect for sine and cosine and secant and cosecant. So cosecant is actually related to the sine function. So this is 1 divided by the sine of whatever your angle is. And the sine function deals with the relationship, or the ratio, of the opposite over the hypotenuse. So the cosecant is the reverse of that, or the reciprocal. So this will be the hypotenuse divided by the opposite side. So let's use this information. We'll look at our graph. We're looking at this angle B here. So we want the cosecant of that angle B, and that's the hypotenuse divided by the opposite. Well, the hypotenuse is our long side, side length 5, and the opposite side, the one opposite the angle, has a side length of 4. So we put 4 in our denominator here. 3 is the adjacent side to B, so that won't be in this question. And we just need to reduce our fraction, but 5 is a prime number, and 4 is only divisible by 2. So 5/4 is what we would put in the box here, and that would be our final answer.